my listeners here, and I'm so excited and honored to introduce Ritu, who is an ex army officer, and she's also India's only certified coach to treat diastasis recti. And Ritu is also a mom to two wonderful kids. And the tips and the advice that Ritu is going to give us today is based on her experience, obviously, which is backed by her certification. So, before we start, Ritu, a lot of moms don't even know what is diastasis recti. Can you tell us what exactly does it mean?
Yeah. A lot of women undergo having a mummy tummy or a mummy pooch post delivery. And when they try to ask more about it, the answer which they get that it is normal to have a tummy after delivery. That's a normal answer to them. But sometimes these issues are not only related uh, to just having a belly protruding out, but it also is attached to having a back pain, urinary leakage, and other issues which are there. It may individually be there, like popping out of the belly, there is must be a coning or doming in the belly, or it may be along with other issues which a female faces. Now, they do try every possible thing in the world. They go to hit the gym, they do weight training, they go on extreme dieting for years and years, and still they do not lose that belly pooch. Now, when they don't lose that, there might be an issue called diastasis recti. Now, what is diastasis basically? We all have a layer of abdominal muscles in our belly. So, all of these abdominal muscles are joined together in between with a piece of a connective tissue. Okay, so if you can see my this, which is going on, so if all these
Yeah.
abdominal muscles come in and join in here, okay, and they're
Okay.
connected together with a piece of a connective tissue which is called linea alba. It's joining them like this. Okay, so we all must have seen the six pack abs people have. We all have seen, the shredded six pack ab look. So we all have six pack abs. You have, I have, everybody has. It is hidden beneath a layer of fat. So people who have less fat percentage, their six pack abs start showing. Now, diastasis is basically the separation of these six pack abs. So there are three on the left side, three on the right. So when this right and left separates, the connective tissue, the linea alba, which is joining them, which is thick and strong like this, also starts thinning. It stretches, it thins. Now we have our bowel behind us, like we have the organs inside, we have a layer of visceral fat inside. Now, earlier, something which was so strong and holding our organs nicely. Yeah, the muscles were strong, the connective tissue is strong. Now, muscles separate, connective tissue becomes loose. Now, all the organs and the fat can push out, which can give the look of a doming or coning outside, which is basically diastasis recti. So
Okay.
in most cases, the doming and the tummy which is protruding out is because of abdominal muscle weakness or separation.
Wow, that was such a wonderful explanation. I think anybody could understand by it. Also, I want to know that does this happen only after pregnancy and for pregnant moms, or it be seen in women who haven't conceived or delivered?
All right. To explain this, I would first like to tell the reason for having diastasis. Okay. So, the only one reason to have diastasis is the excessive intra abdominal pressure. Okay. So, we all have a level of abdominal pressure inside our belly. Like we eat food, we feel bloated, right? We
Yes.
know that there is a pressure inside our belly which is regulated. Digestion ke liye we are using it. Now, when this pressure becomes excessive, or not manageable, then there is a forward force on all the muscles in the connective tissue. Okay? And that's, if that forward force continues for a longer period of a time, that leads to separation of muscles or stretching of the linea alba. Now that can happen by various reasons. Pregnancy is one of the most common reason for that, because let's imagine a balloon. Like, I'll give a very simple example of that. Let's imagine a balloon. We fill air in it, right? Now we keep forcing the air on it more, 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 more. Now what will happen? Eventually the balloon will pop. It will
Yes, it
burst,
reverse.
right? Now the same happens with our belly. There is an abdominal pressure which is natural. Now it keeps getting excess, 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 excess for a longer period of time. Now the muscles will burst, like in a little, not literally, but in a way that they will separate and the connective tissue will thin. Now, this can happen by what reasons? Number one, it can happen by pregnancy, the most common reason, because the baby is growing inside. And along with the baby, some women are eating so much that the internal fat is also going. Okay? So, excessive fat plus a heavy baby, or maybe having twins, like somebody having a baby of a 2 to 2.5 kgs and she's slim, might not have a probability of having a diastasis which is large. Okay? But a lady who's holding a heavy baby, or having twins, or having triplets, or somebody who has undergone various number of pregnancies, they are on a verge of getting a diastasis easily. But anybody having a high fat percentage, whether pregnant or not, over a long period of time, which is increasing, high visceral fat can also lead to diastasis recti, whether be a man or a woman. Third,
Okay.
chronic coughing and sneezing. Like when we cough, we all know that there is an abdominal pressure,
Yeah.
like your tummy comes, goes and out. Now, sneezing also leads to that. So now, if somebody is having a chronic coughing and sneezing over a long period of time, of course, the pressure is like this. Like somebody coughing a lot all the time. There's a continuous pressure on the belly. Now,
Yes.
that can lead to diastasis as well. Now, there are people who have been doing heavy weightlifting. So, if the weightlifting is done with an incorrect technique, there is a jerk automatically, or if your core is weak and then you're trying to lift heavy. Like, I have heard people getting their muscles separated just by lifting up a cylinder in a wrong manner. Yeah, so if you're lifting something heavy with a wrong technique, or if your core is weak, that can also lead to diastasis. So, it's not that
Right.
only pregnant women will have it, anyone can have it. So, but
Anyone can have it.
the only
Even
crux,
men can get it.
yeah, the only crux is that you need to know how to manage your intra-abdominal pressure. It should not go excessive.
Right.
Pregnancy is a natural way to get it. Actually,
Mhm.
100% of the pregnant women, get it at one stage.
100% of them, like all of them.
100% of them, yeah, all of them. Just that it's a natural process. Let's understand, diastasis is not something to be worried about. It's a natural process of our body, wherein the body is opening up to give space to the growing baby, right? Now, 100% of the women in their third trimester will have a degree of separation. Two finger, three, four, five. They will have a degree. Now, after giving the birth, healing may be different to different people. Now,
Right.
most of the women heal, but some do not because of various reasons. And that's when diastasis lingers on. And that's when it
So,
becomes a problem.
like I think when I had just delivered, I remember like my grandmother-in-law telling me that I should really tie up my tummy with a tight kappada, and like I should just keep myself so stiff all the time. And I remember like I tried it for a couple of days, and there were times when I couldn't sit because it was tied so like
Tightly.
in such a tight manner that I wasn't even able to like feed my baby or sit properly. So are these two things connected?
Yes, they are connected. Though, so the old wife tales of telling you that you must tie your tummy has a logic behind it. So our muscles become really loose after pregnancy. They are separated, like I told you, 100% of the
Yes.
women have a separated muscles. So now when they tie the tummy together, and you can't escape doing the day-to-day work of your baby. And
Yeah.
imagine doing that work with a loosened tummy. You
Yeah.
might cause more trauma to it because you are using force in lifting the baby, you're
Right.
using force in getting up. So you have loose muscles, but when you tie it with something, the force on that reduces. Plus, it brings them together, right? So it helps in the natural recovery. But yes, tying it too tight can sometimes cause more intra-abdominal pressure. So I always tell that sucking in of belly and tying the belt too tight can cause you problems more than benefit. So it should be tied in a manner that it's just snugging you. It should not compress in. So I always tell my clients that tying the belly is good immediately after pregnancy, but you must know that it should not be making you hold your breath. It should not be
Right.
like you're
Yeah.
sulking, you're not able to breathe, or
Yeah.
it should not be compressing the belly in, because see, imagine if something is forcing in it, you will have to breathe again, the intra-abdominal pressure will force out, right? So it has
Right.
to be something which is snugging gently, so that it
Like
helps you recover.
just giving you a feeling that it's all together. Like I remember after I delivered, I was feeling empty. Like my stomach was feeling empty, like like a empty theli, basically, like a pouch that had nothing in it. So
Nothing in.
basically, like that feeling shouldn't come. Like
Yeah,
it should just
right.
all be together. So tying is good, but it should be just snug and not really tight.
Not compression, there should not be any compression, it should be
Compression.
just a feeling of snuggling. That's good if done immediately after delivery.
Right.
That's
And Is it like, is this diastasis recti different from having tummy fat?
Yes, it is related, I'll tell you. Okay. So we need to understand that a lady can have diastasis recti and both tummy fat as well. But somebody may have only diastasis recti not because of the fat percentage. Okay. Now, to understand whether it is belly fat or diastasis, I must tell you that almost all of the cases I've dealt with, there are women with both of them. Okay, because the excessive fat is also leading playing a role in making you have diastasis. Like I told you, the muscles have already separated, now you are gaining fat inside, so that visceral fat inside your belly is also putting undue pressure on your already weak muscles, right?
Right,
So both are interconnected. You can have belly fat and you can also have diastasis, but there are many cases wherein we have clients coming up to us with a very less fat percentage and just a protrusion in their belly. Now that's diastasis. So to rule it out, what we can do is first do a check. How to check the diastasis recti? You lie down on your back, fold your knees and insert your fingers inside. Raise your head a little bit to see the movement of these muscles. Like I told you, it's the left and right recti muscles. Now when you lift your head up, they come closer. When you put your head back down, they come back, so you will understand where I have to put in the hat.
right,
Now keeping them relaxed, you see how many fingers are there going in. Now if your two fingers or more than two, or approximately 2.7 centimeters or more than that, is inserting inside your belly, then it's a diastasis. You also need to check the depth of it, okay, how deep it is, because this connective tissue, the more stretched it is, the more deeper your finger will go in.
right,
So going deep, it's like it's not a good thing. The connective tissue is stretched a lot. So either check it. You can also get your body fat percentage checked, because that will also be a parameter for to you to understand whether it's just fat, visceral fat is there or not, or it's diastasis. So both things together can be checked and we can find out. In most cases, diastasis is visible. You will see the visible coning or doming happening in your belly. The shape of the belly will not be just be fat. You will see that there is something abnormal. So
right,
I always tell my clients that diastasis is not a problem in itself. Basically, it's a symptom that there is something wrong in your body. Your body telling you that there is something wrong, work on it. That's why I'm looking like this.
right. Right, of course. And so, how can we work towards it? Like, what are the ways in which we can combat this phenomenon?
So, like the topic of today's session is
Yeah,
5 ways.
5 ways.
Let's quickly tell the 5 ways in which you can work on diastasis. So, first, we need to understand that, like I told, diastasis is not a problem in itself. Okay, it may become a problem when it converts into a irreparable hernia or something else which can be only treated by honey. Basically, diastasis is a sign, a symptom of your body that something is wrong inside. Okay,
Right.
like we get a rash, we get
Yeah.
acne. That's because we might have had junk, or probably there are some hormonal imbalances, or because we didn't drink enough water, right? So it's our body telling. We get a fever. Why do we get fever? Because our body is fighting with a bacteria inside our body.
Right.
That's a sign and a symptom. That's a way to fight, right? Now, similarly, diastasis is a symptom or a sign telling that there is something majorly wrong with your lifestyle, the way you move, and something majorly wrong with your body. Now, you need to address all these things. So, when I coach my client, the number one thing which I do with them is coach them back to neutral alignment. Now, what is neutral? Neutral means balanced. We all must be driving car, so they're gear, na gear one,
Yeah.
two, three. So when we
Yeah.
put the car in the neutral, it's balanced. It's in the
Right.
middle, right? So body's neutral alignment is, our ear is in line with shoulder, shoulder in line with hips, hips in line with knee, knee in line with our ankle, and our pelvis pointing straight like a flashlight. It should not be down or up. Okay. So first thing you have to do is check whether your body is in neutral alignment while standing, sitting, or not. Now, me sitting like this, I'm not in neutral alignment.
Right.
Yeah, my back has curved, my core has crunched, right? But me sitting straight is neutral alignment. Me standing with the neck forward is not neutral alignment. My pelvis tilted in an anterior shape is not neutral alignment. So the first rule is you have to get into a neutral alignment, because when you are not in a neutral alignment, now imagine my muscles are separated, right? Now I sit
Yeah.
like, won't there be problem for my muscles?
Right.
Or
Yes.
if I sit like that, it will be expanding them.
Stretched
Will be a
out.
problem, right? So we have to first check our posture and get into neutral alignment. The first element, first tip for everyone. Now, how to get into neutral alignment? Start walking as much as you can. Walking is a simple thing which you can do because it is a natural instinct of our body. We have been given two bipedal legs to walk and use them and just
Right.
not sit there. You will understand that when we sit, our posture goes bad. But when somebody walks a lot, their posture doesn't never go bad. So walk and stay active. Second is be mindful and keep checking what's the issues. If you have an interior tilt, you need to probably see that how to correct that. If there are some issues with your ankle mobility, if your hamstrings are tight, if your hips are too tight, then you might have to do certain exercise to loosen them up to get into a neutral alignment. So that's the first rule. Now, second is uh, developing a mind muscle connection with breathing. Okay, so during pregnancy, what happens? A baby is growing, right? And it's compressing our lungs and all the organs. We start breathing in a shallow manner. A breathing
Right.
becomes very shallow. Also, because of this, oxygen supply is not reaching our brain, right? So almost all women lose their muscle mind connection. That's why they're haywire all the time, confused. They
Mom
forget.
brain. It is called mom brain.
Exactly, yeah. That's because the breathing has got shallower, and even when the baby is out, you're still following the shallow patterns of breathing, right? Now, oxygen supply is not going to your brain, and your brain doesn't know that what's going on here.
Right.
Yeah, so we have to develop a connection first. Secondly, we have to stop doing the negative self talk. Oh my god, my body has been ruined. I
Yeah.
gave birth to a child, now I can't get back to it. Sab barbad ho gaya. I'm not
Yes.
the one which I was. So we need to do a positive self talk with us and start with 360-degree connection breathing, which will not only train the abdominal muscles by contracting them, opening them, but will also help you breathe in a deeper manner, sending enough oxygen supply to your brain to help you connect better with your emotions and your body. Because I see almost all of the people who have met with diastasis are disconnected. Their brains or bodies are disconnected. They can't even take a normal breath in and breath out. They breathe from their chest.
Yeah.
So second is learning 360-degree connection breathing and developing that mind muscle focus and connection through more breathing work. Yeah.
Right.
Now, the third is avoiding movements like, see, I always tell people around me that, there are two ways in which we can cure something. When we say that we are healing, when we're talking about
Hmm.
healing. So it's about healing the separated muscles. So how can we heal them? We have to first admit that it's an internal injury. Something which was supposed to be like this is now separated,
Yes.
right? So how do we heal an injury? First, by protecting that part and then applying the cure. So now people want to jump in to apply that cure. They're like, tell us the magical exercises which will help us, dear, help DR. Tell us 5 exercises to lose the belly fat. Now there are no magical exercises to it. Yeah. And even if you do these magical exercises and you're not protecting that part which has been damaged, it is not going to work. So we need to focus on protecting it. So how to protect? We need to protect ourselves from any movement which might cause a jerk here or might put into more pressure which can lead to linear alba separating further. So you need to avoid two things: spinal flexions and spinal extensions. Now, flexing is doing crunches, sit
Yes.
ups like that, suddenly getting up with a jog. And extension is doing back bends, extending the arm back too much, things like that. Okay, you need to avoid doing planks. You need to avoid doing too much of running, jumping. That's the thing. Now, fourth point is avoiding any movement wherein your shoulders are going off your hips. So that means
Okay.
if your shoulder is going away from a hip, you are rotating, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're getting up from the bed, you're making your upper body turn first and the lower body remains there. But if you have
Right.
to pick an object, you take your shoulder. Your hips are still pointing straight, but your shoulders are going that way. So
Right.
any movement which disbalances your shoulders from a line to the hips is a big no-no. Because imagine this has separated. Now you take a turn like this. Won't there be a more pressure on the
Yeah.
muscle then?
Yes, there will be more pressure.
There will be more pressure. So you need to avoid that. Now, the fifth and the most important key point here is the nutrition,
Yeah.
which plays a major role. Let's understand that certain movements can definitely cause more intra-abdominal pressure, but in 80% of the cases, the problem lies with the food which we are eating. So if we are eating food which is bloating us, okay, definitely it will put more pressure on the abdominal muscles again. How will they heal no matter how many exercises you do? If
Right.
you're overeating, like you ate one food, then you didn't let it digest, you ate another food, hogging on to food, not
Mm.
letting the food digest and keeping your tummy full all the time, there will be a continuous pressure on the muscles. How will they heal? Right? Eating more sweets, more junk, for which are hard to digest, which are heavy on our digestive system, then it is going to again lead to more intra-abdominal pressure. Right?
Right.
And if you're eating in a calorie surplus, automatically you will gain a lot of fat. And if you're
Mm.
gaining fat, again the same scenario, back to the same point, this will continue putting pressure on your abdominal muscles.
Right.
So a quick tip for everybody would be, try avoiding foods like rajma, chole, chane ki dal, जो ज़्यादा gas cause करते हैं, bloating करते हैं,
Right.
which are hard to digest for our body. Try limiting your gluten. Try seeing that what is suiting me, what is not suiting me. Like for an example, for one of my client, I gave her eggs. Okay, so if she ate one egg, she was fine. If she ate more than two eggs, she felt bloated. So you need to see
Oh,
yourself what's suiting me, what's not suiting me. Am I gluten allergic? Is having rice or chapati causing me more bloating? Does my tummy looks more better? As per Ayurveda, they say that you need to stop when your tummy is 50% full.
50%.
Yeah. So you have to follow that rule. That will be great for you, because let's understand, because of the separation, there is already a lot of air trapped in. You might be feeling gastric sooner. You might be feeling constipated. So your digestive system is not the same as it was pre-pregnancy. So
Right.
you need to get it back. You need to reduce the fat percentage and take care of your food. Like even when you're drinking water, the old wife tales applies here. So when they say na, don't drink more water, your tummy will come out. That's right.
That is right.
People do not understand the logic behind what our ancestors have told us. Every rule, every point which they have imbibed, they have logic. Now our grandmothers and their mothers knew the logic. Now our mother do not know the logic. They just know the principle. Do this. But when you ask them why, they don't know why. Now
Right.
it's time for us to find the why. So when they're saying that if you gulp too much of water, then it is going to lead to a bloated tummy, let's understand why. Because your muscles is separated, right? If you're going to gulp the water together, it is going to put a pressure. So have water sip by sip, little by little. Not saying that stop drinking water. Have water sip by sip slowly, one
Right.
sip, it's like that.
Like we should not like take a whole glass of water and drink it
And
gut gut
gulp
gut
it
gut
up.
gut. Just like sit, take 2 minutes and finish that glass of water. Like
It's a very saying of Ayurveda. I do believe in Ayurveda, and I am like a combination of both scientific and this thing now. So Ayurveda is also a science. It is backed up
right.
by. So they say, drink your water like food. You're eating the food, and have your food like you're drinking water. Like chew your food so much that it becomes thin like water,
Right.
and drink water and sip like you're gulping food. That's the right
Right.
way.
Wow, that is such an amazing tip. I think we all can start at least incorporating this in our daily routine.
Right.
Uh, chew your food enough to make it water and drink your water like food sip by sip.
Sorry, I didn't get you. There was a connection lag actually.
Okay. I want to know what kind of fitness regime do you follow?
I am a person who's back to basics wala thing now. I believe in
Right.
basics. So I'm very rooted to the principles which are very basic. So I get up early in the morning, I drink water, I freshen up, and then I go for a walk and do yoga. Okay, I eat normal homemade food, basic Indian khana, what my grandmother used to eat. Of course, focusing more on eating more protein, because being a vegetarian, I lack having protein, so I take a
Right.
lot of dairy and paneer in that. And rest, I try to stay active as much. I believe that if I work out in the morning, my day is sorted, because I'm done.
Right.
Because if I keep waiting till the day end time, it doesn't happen. So I'm a very simplistic person, living a simple, ordinary life, eating basic food and exercising, moving more, playing with my kids, and just taking
Right.
care of the tasks like that.
And like that is how all of us should aim our lives to be, right? Like get up,
Absolutely.
like have a set routine, and like they say that even working out at the same time will give you better results than one day you're working out at 9 a.m., other day you're working out at 6 p.m. So your body is not aligned to, like, your body does not know what to expect. So it's all
Basically, getting into a routine and being disciplined is something which works
yes, yes.
fine.
So the other day I'd met the friends the girl gang met up, and one of them lost all her weight. So the other one asked, "Oh my God, like what is your magic? Like what is the trick?" And like the answer that she gave has still like stuck with me. And she told me like there's no magic, like there's no trick. All you need is a very strong willpower, and then like weight loss will come, but
Right.
you need to have a really strong willpower, and that's how weight loss happens. Like you need to have your routine set, and you need to follow to the T, like you cannot miss in between, and that's how it happens.
Yeah. So I always say that it's like getting back to basics. Like we have to study for an exam. So we can't ask the topper what magic you did. He studied
Right.
hard.
Yeah, he
That
is
would,
like, yes, they are studying hard to be where they are, right? So
right.
we have a question from one of our community moms, and Shilpa is asking, can we dance if we have DR? Because you said we should be avoiding jumping movements.
So, see, it depends on what stage you are. So, when clients join me, we start them with a foundation stage, and slowly, once we realize that they have learned how to manage the intra-abdominal pressure, we do take them to the performance training. So, we do make them run, we do make them do strength training and jumping and everything. Now, it depends upon where you stand right now. So if your case is very critical, you're having a big gap with a very big depth, definitely a big no. You can dance in a movement wherein you avoid the movements of jumping. There are various forms where you can still dance, right? It's not nobody
Right.
stopping you to dance. Just follow the cues wherein I said that shoulder should be in line with your hips and you're in
Yes.
the neutral alignment and you're not doing activities like crunching, sit-ups and jumping and all these things, because that will, you see, imagine something is stretched inside your body. Now if you jump, there will be more pressure on it,
Right.
right? So you first need to understand where you are. If you think that you have a functional DR and you know how to engage your core at the time of force, you can definitely try attempting it. Now it's
Oh,
very case specific. I cannot
yes.
give a general advice here.
Yes. Yes. Of course, like you should be talking to your specialist before you decide to take that
Absolutely,
step.
absolutely.
So, how soon can moms who have delivered reach out to you?
Reach out to me, they can immediately reach out to me after their 6 weeks checkup with the doctor. And if the doctor has given them a go, so whenever somebody joins us, we give them a waiver form. Okay. And we ask them to take this waiver form at their 6 week checkup to a doctor, because we have written what we are going to teach you. So sometimes
Okay.
doctors have also this in mindset when you tell them that can we start exercising. So doctors relate exercising to, oh my god, she's going to
Yeah.
run, jump, lift heavy. So they, so no, 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 wait for 6 months. But
Yeah.
when you join a postnatal program, we start with connection breathing. In fact, there are many doctors who are coming up to us and joining our programs. There are
Mm.
gynecologists joining our program, surgeons joining our program. So we start with a base where you are. So we'll be teaching you connection breathing, the right way to pick up your baby. Because everybody congratulates you
Right.
that you have a baby, but nobody tells you how to lift up the baby. They say no
Right.
exercising. But doctors don't realize a new mom can't lie on the bed. She has to work, man. She has
Yes.
to, make her kid take bath. She has to massage the baby. She has to move here and there. So who will teach her to do it correctly? Because in
Right.
most of the reasons, problems arise during the postpartum stage when the woman is not using her body correctly. She jerks while lifting the baby. She bends so badly that there is a stress on her back. She causes spinal extensions, flexions to her body, and she never realizes it. So she has to learn how to do it correctly, and that can only be done by a trainer step by step. So I would say explain that to your doctor. What program you're joining? You're joining a program. Most of the programs doctors approve it to be started immediately in 6 months. The rest
Right.
depends upon case to case.
We Thank you for answering that. We have another question from Shweta BN, and she's asking: once my DR is healed, any chances of getting it back? As you said, it's all about core muscle strength. So if core muscle is weak, can DR hit come back?
So I'll answer it in the same manner that if I lost 10 kgs of weight, can I gain back those 10 kgs of weight? Of course, you can gain back. If you start following the same routine, bad routine which you were following earlier, like let's say you started exercising, you started taking care of your lifestyle, you started eating well, and you lost 10 kgs. Now, if you revert back to your same eating junk, same doing things, sitting idle, sedentary, you will definitely might gain 20 kgs back again, not 10. Right, so the same applies for DR. Like I said, DR is a symptom sign that your body, there is something wrong with your body. So if your lifestyle again goes haywire, if your bodies again go haywire in terms of neutral alignment, your abdominal pressure again is becoming unmanaged and excessive, definitely the muscles can separate again.
Right.
So we have to manage our lifestyles in a longer duration of a time. But if your core is strengthened and you're mindful, I would say if somebody can heal their DR, they will never get it back. Why I'm saying that? Because they do so much of hard work in healing that I'm sure they will definitely don't want to go back. Then they go forward and forward only.
Right. And also, like they say that you need to make fitness and healthy eating a part of your lifestyle. Like it cannot be a phase, like you're doing it in a month and then you're going back to your old ways. Like it has to be incorporated in your day-to-day life, and
Absolutely,
that is,
absolutely.
yes, that is how it is sustainable. Otherwise you go back to
It's
ground
not.
zero
It's not.
ways.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Ritu, this chat was so insightful, and I'm sure all our audience was also very happy to talk to you. Also, Ritu, everybody can reach Ritu on Fit Moms Fitter Homes, and she's also a part of Baby Chakra community. You could drop your questions there, and you could take personal appointments with Ritu.
All right.
Thank you so much, Ritu.
Thank you for having me, Barkha. This topic is something which is very, so common, but
Yes,
people don't talk about it. People do not have enough knowledge. Even doctors have a superficial knowledge about it. They do know it is there, but they don't know how to address this issue.
yes.
So
Like
I'm
you
so
said,
happy.
it's not a disease, but
It's the
it is a
same,
symptom. So nobody
right?
wants to like cure a symptom. They're like, ठीक है
It's
जब problem आएगी
because
तब
everything
देखेंगे.
normalized. Like people
Yes.
like us telling us, it's okay to have a
सबको
belly
होता है.
button.
Yeah.
Suppose, but when it becomes strong, like people start leaking urine, when they start having pain in their belly buttons, when they have
Yeah.
chronic constipation all the time, then they're bloated all the time, then they start thinking, oh, but that crosses that line by then.
Right.
So
So
let's not cross that line. I'm so happy to talk about this topic and reach to many more people about this. And I hope all women do this because I truly believe that mentally and physically fit moms make fitter, better and healthier homes.
yes, and I agree with you. Like I love to see your posts on your profile, and they're so motivating. And I think that is what made me reach out to you.
My daughter is here.
It's okay. We'll just a big hi from all of us in community. Thank you, Ritu. It was amazing talking to you.
All right. Thank you for having
All
me.
right.
Thank you.
Bye.